Welcome to Take 5, a Stoneleigh Strategies podcast series. My intent? To share unique ideas and in some cases challenge long-standing views on issues important to you. A sustainable career, managing organizations and programs, unleashing the potential of innovation. So sit back, take 5, and enjoy thinking about ideas, challenges, and you. Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's Take 5 episode, Navigating Federal Government Decision-Making, or, as you'll find out soon, a Millimetre Matters. I'm Rob James. It is quite likely that at some point in your career, you will be involved directly or indirectly in working with the federal decision-making system in order to successfully implement departmental strategy and/or programs, or secure various management authorities. Ultimately, this means securing policy, budget, and/or management authorities. Over my career, I had the opportunity to help design and move roughly $2 billion in policy initiatives through the federal cabinet decision-making system, regional, national, international initiatives in complex issues ranging from economic development, basic and industrial research and development, to financial support for a wide variety of innovation system players. Is this easy? In a word, no. Competing interests, continued federal focus on deficit management, interpersonal challenges, explaining complex issues in a clear and compelling fashion are just some of the challenges that are always present. In my case, I was involved in 12 approaches to cabinet, and all 12 were successful. Some have said in the past that I've been lucky, but I always like to think about the old saying, luck is the residue of design. Through this experience, I learned a number of important lessons in the art of navigating the policy waters of Ottawa. In today's Take 5 podcast, I will share 10 key lessons that stand out. 1. Market pull, not push, is king. In other words, the key question is not what a department can gain from cabinet, but rather what cabinet and the government can gain from the department itself. Simply put, how can your department help advance the government's agenda? 2. While a very formal process-driven system is in place to ensure effectiveness and integrity of cabinet decision-making, particularly effective federal executives recognize the critical importance of the formal and informal dimensions of this system. Building mutual trust, understanding, and credibility with Ottawa through formal and informal routes is a prerequisite for success for proposals to be received as credible, widely supported, and worthy of system consideration. This is not an easy task and requires constant attention to nurturing, maintaining, and strengthening these relationships. 3. You need to understand the federal decision-making system and structure. Who are the key players? What key bodies influence and/or make decisions along the way? And what formal processes must be respected? What is the role of central agencies, or cabinet committees, or parliamentary committees? How do you interact with departments in interdepartmental consultations, or central agency consultations? Without attention to these considerations, access to cabinet will simply not occur, so know your landscape. 4. You must be sensitive to both political and bureaucratic realities. Of course, nonpartisanship should underpin any approach to cabinet, but you must recognize that there are decision makers on both sides of the ledger with authorities that can help or hinder your proposal. 5. Strive to build responsible relations with the legislative branch, including the House of Commons, the Senate, and targeted standing committees. Raise awareness of departmental directions and value across all these players and entities to help soften the ground for a positive decision. Use all invitations from parliamentary committees, individual members of parliament, or senators to your advantage. There are opportunities to assert credibility, demonstrate value, to be seen as part of the federal family, and to impart important departmental messages to key decision makers and influencers. Where appropriate, build informal relations with ministers' offices in order to ensure that proposed initiatives are understood from a rational economic and management perspective. Only senior executives should be involved, given the sensitive and important nature of this relationship. However, and I cannot emphasize this enough, Do so in a nonpartisan manner. In parallel to this, develop strong relations with central agencies in order to build trust and respect. One-off meetings are simply not enough. Strive to meet various analysts on a regular basis. Keep them informed. Seek their advice. In my experience, this is one of the most valuable tactics you can use. And, to the extent possible, nurture good working relationships with other departments and agencies. Given the broad and horizontal nature of many issues, mandates of various organizations can be affected. Remember, there are a number of ministers in a cabinet committee, all of whom can have a significant influence on the outcome of any approach to cabinet. 6. At a departmental level, establishing an annual federal budget strategy, post-February budget, can offer a terrific advantage to the organization. In my experience, this budget strategy should include 1 to 3 departmental priorities only, a communications and outreach plan that defines 2 to 3 key messages for each, identifies federal decision makers to be targeted, and assigns lead responsibilities to specific senior executives. In fact, delivery of this outreach should be embedded in each executive's annual performance agreement. The entire executive team of the organization should be provided these key messages in order to share them with their own federal colleagues over the course of any given fiscal year. Imagine the impact of these key messages being repeated all year long by all executives. The organization's budget strategy should also include a plan to influence the development of any upcoming speech from the throne. And in order to better track the budget strategy over time, it should be placed as a standing item on a departmental management committee agenda. Number 7, you need to build a credible and compelling policy story. Honed policy instincts, sound facts and figures, and excellent writing skills are all essential to enunciate the issue, proposed options, intended results, return on investment, other strategic considerations, and sound management. This entails doing your homework and building a strong foundation from which to present your policy ideas. As part of this, the organization should identify the information and data likely needed to shore up the credibility of any proposal and begin that process very early on. Remember, not only should the policy story be compelling, it needs to be credible. Lesson number 8. Recognize that the Council of Canadian Academies is a strategic mechanism for departments to advance initiatives in the early stages of formulation and consultation. Defining and having CCA study a strategically articulated question can lead to a deeper understanding of an issue and help to soften the ground around federal decision makers. The very fact that CCA adopts a question gives a boost to the issue's perceived importance. This brings us to lesson number 9. Ensuring and demonstrating sound management is in place. This entails designing or adapting a leading-edge, focused, and efficient results-based management framework and related systems, a base from which to meet management and accountability reporting requirements defined in the estimates process. It also positions the organization beautifully to understand and report on progress over time. And finally, lesson number 10. You need to be street smart. Let me give you an example. At the best of times, it is challenging to gain the full attention of cabinet committees given the sheer number of proposals they must consider in any given budget cycle. So how can you help your budget proposal stand out? One simple tactic is to offer a compelling title, something that helps to attract attention. I recall a number of years ago a proposal on national metrology, an absolute essential competency for the nation. However, it can be relatively challenging to foment an excitement about measurement. In order to counter this challenge, a title was developed for the memorandum to cabinet which was simply "A Millimetre Matters." The compelling and somewhat mysterious nature of the title helped to shine a light on the issue and the proposal. Thanks for listening to Take 5. If you have any reactions or ideas around today's episode, or if you're looking for some counsel, I'd be pleased to hear from you. You can email me at rob@stoneleystrategies.ca. And, time permitting, please check my website at www.stoneleystrategies.ca. Our mission: to help position you and your organization for success.